ট্রেনিং স্যার গিফটগুলো নিয়ে যাও।
একটু রেখে দাও, যাওয়ার সময় নিয়ে নেব। আমার বক্তব্য এখনই?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
ওকে, মাইক তো আছে। আমি অডিবল? না, অন নেই তো, রেকর্ডের জন্য। Okay, first let me thank the organizers for getting me here. And I'll probably deliver, as I say, a short talk, probably to inspire and give some directions. Okay, I'll start with 2 examples. That's what normally my speaking style. The first one, many people know, but others may not know, but this is very, very indicative. This goes back to more than 100 years. Sir Ronald Fisher, who is considered to be the father of statistics, he was teaching correlation in the class. Now, when you do data analytics, correlation is one of the very fundamental things we try to understand, how 2 things are correlated. So but it's long back, so he was teaching in the class, he was giving the definition, he was telling the formula, he derived the formula, showed the properties, like this is between -1 and +1. Positive means if one goes up, other one also goes up, like normally height and weight. If one has more height, it's believed that the weight also is probably more. There could be some exceptions, but this is what we call positive correlation. The maximum value is 1. That means if I know height, I know the weight for sure. That's what is meant by correlation 1. What about the negative side? If 1 increases, 1 decreases. If I can see the amount of sunshine and the amount of rainfall. If I have more sunshine, the rainfalls are going to go down. Okay, and negative means if I know that if you have sufficient sunshine, you know for sure there is not going to be any rainfall. That's what is -1, determines the other. 0 means they don't really affect each other. So he taught all these things, and then he gave a task to the students. He divided the class into 2 groups, and so you go to the library. And that time there was no internet to get data. So he said that, okay, you get the quarterly bulletin of the UK government. One group was asked to look into the last 30 years, all quarterly bulletins of the Ministry of Commerce, and pick up the data on apple export. And the other group was asked to look into the quarterly bulletin of the Ministry of Social Welfare and Justice. And they were supposed to record the number of registered divorces. These are numbers. So they get the data collected. So Sir Fisher writes on a board, Q1, apple export, number of registered divorces. Q2, blah, blah, blah. Q1, 20, 30 years, 4 quarters. And then say, I taught you correlation, you compute it. So people compute it. And it turned out to be -0.87. Now what does it should mean? That if I want to decrease the divorce rate, I should increase the apple export. Nothing could be funnier than this. This is my first example. I'll tell you the interpretation of this one. Second one, again by British Sir William Cox, another very, very famous, renowned statistician. He was collecting data on death due to lung cancer. So he had lots of this information, and then he summarized some data. That about 12% of these deaths were from the people who never smoked. So non-smoker, of the death, 12% non-smokers. Also found out that about 13-14% are people who smokes only cigarettes. Another 30-35% who smokes cigars or churros. And another 30-35% who smokes pipes. So if you look at this data, people may infer that cigarette smoking is as good as non-smoking, and it's not that bad. Okay? The inferences, again, people are laughing. Now, these two I take my basic example to explain what is meant by data analytics. The basic fault lies in understanding the domain. So, Fisher's or Cox's first lesson is that you never, ever, I will tell 10 times, apply any analytics techniques to a data of which you don't know the domain strongly enough. So, any fool will know that Apple export and divorce has nothing to do with it. But their numbers, you put numbers in the model, something will come out. So don't ever do that. The second one is a bit more involved. See, now, who smokes cigar or pipe? The older people. Now, if you are an old person and if you have lung cancer, you have much higher probability of dying. So it talks more about the age, it doesn't talk about the habit. So you treat it as 12% non-smokers, all other are smokers. The risk increases as the age goes up. So nothing to do with that smoking habit of cigar or churros. So unless you understand this domain correctly, just to take this, put into a model, something comes out, and you end up with all meaningless, even laughable inferences. So this is my first inference, that first advice to all the analytics people, that never ever try to do any analytics techniques until you understand the domain completely. Okay, I'll talk about, I have 10 minutes, right? So I'll talk about two more examples. One, I was invited to Tata Steel once. That time I was a ICIDA, now I'm a retired person, but I was an ICIDA professor and I went to Tata Steel. There are 5 blast furnaces. Now, this one, sometimes they got out of order. It stops functioning. Nothing unusual. And then Tata Steel has got an outstanding set of engineers. They will come and immediately fix things. But if the blast furnace stops for a couple of hours, the loss in crores. So what they are trying to do, is it possible, Bimal, say the guy was my high school junior, was the GM there. So Bimal, is it possible that we can have some prediction at least 1 or 2 hours or 3 hours before that this blast furnace may go out of service or out of business? This is what we call predictive analytics. But then, so I thought, yes, there are some techniques, but I cannot say run a model. I have to understand your procedure completely. And I have to sit with the engineers to understand the failure records, because they have nicely recorded that this time there was a failure and they found out that the air quality which was getting into was not very good. There's some impurity in the air which was ultimately caused. So what they did, the engineers found out, so they changed the air quality, purified before putting into the blast furnace. So I want to understand your history of all these failures. So I sat with a bunch of engineers there, very smart engineers. I was very amazed. They know the process right and left. And I could look into some 30-40 failure cases and I could see what are the possible factors. So I don't try out all the factors involved in this production process. There are 600 factors. This will be a bizarre thing. So I had to understand the domain very carefully, and I found that there are only 8 important factors that they have found out. If I look into all the history of these failures, there are only 8 factors, very important, like some impurity in the ore, impurity in the air, some temperature in the air. So there are 8. I saw nothing beyond these 8 factors were actually responsible for this failure. So I told them, okay, you try doing something. I told them there is a very standard thing I learned in my second year of BStat, logistic regression. Now they call it machine learning, etc., all these big things. But I told, okay. Then say, Bimal, are you learning some ML algorithm? No. Try my Bistar secondary, I didn't even know that I'm ML that time. So try logistic regression. It talks about the probability of failure. So it gives a prediction of what is the probability of failure in future time. So they fit it. I told you that engineers are outstanding. So they fit it, and they found that the regression fitted very well to understand these failures on the basis of these 8 factors. If I had put spurious factors, the model could have been all this nonsense. And then adopted it. And then they informed that 90% of these failures have been handled now because there's predictive maintenance, they say, and as soon as they see the probability of failure goes beyond 0.75, the engineering team comes and then try to fix it. Parallelly, the production was on a stop, so only they have reduced by 90% of these failures. But this is again what I tell this one. Don't try to run into blindly so many factors in this production process. Don't try to fit a model. This is going to be bizarre. The more spurious thing you put in the model, the worse the result is going to be. So you have to understand the domain very correctly. What is actually happening there? And it took me quite a few days to understand that. You have to put that effort. Just don't use it as a black box. The last thing I'll tell you, I've been appointed by the Odisha government just a month back as their strategic advisor for the IT ministry. And I was looking into a project. I'm actually advising this project. This is data analytics, but it's outstanding. In West Bengal, we are so far off now. I feel really ashamed that we used to, say Odia, but the way they have thought. So what they're thinking, they are getting a database of all the families. Okay, and they are connecting this database to all the birth records, marriage records, death records, divorce records. So this is continuously evolving. So they have set up in Bhubaneswar, in that thing, they have set up this huge computer setup. So this is dynamic. So suppose in my family we are 5, this age, etc. Next year the age will go up by 1. This is a new birth recorded. Immediately that will be put into this database. A death, immediately that person is taken out. Marriage, that is a little tricky thing. If a girl gets married, normally now they are actually striking off from the family and adding her to family, which is not always true because they lived separate. So I told, I told the secretary, Mr. Dev, you have to be a little careful. That model is gone. Getting married and putting this girl into this boy's family, maybe you have to strike off all these 2 if they set up a. Now this is difficult to implement in this model, but this is also dynamic. And how is it going to be used? So every day, the Panchayat Pradhan has to log on to his machine. They are going to be trained, and they have to find out who are the people who have become widow in the last 1 month. Okay? Now, is he from a BPL family? Okay, then automatically she is supposed to get some widow pension from the state government. And it's not the onus on the widow. The panchayat has to go to the widow's house and get the form filled up and start the paying from the next month itself. So panchayat is being asked to get all these analytics results every morning. So they are developing a software there. So I met the company also, which is going to give trigger to the panchayat to serve the people better. Any death or even this old age pension, farmers pension, they have 75 schemes. Now, every morning, that panchayat has to run that analytics model and get some inferences who are being eligible for what benefit. And it's his or her job to get it done. People should not run around, have to pay bribe, get harassed, come tomorrow, come day after tomorrow. He says this model is going to go off. Once this project materializes, and what the secretary feels in 1 year it should be matured, should be materialized, all these things are gone. So this analytics tool that they're developing, which involves how many things? Making it very dynamic, all these processes to this master database, except the marriage part. This is, I don't know, I have to advise them how to incorporate that. That old fashion is gone. I have seen all my experience, at least in Kolkata, they get married, they go to it, they actually become a different family. They neither belong to this family, that family. How to incorporate that, that's a challenge. But beside that, they are taking care of this dynamic database on which they run this analytics model and gives a reaction to the panchayat every morning. Panchayat Pradhan goes to the office. His job is to run the analytics model on the current data and come out with all these inferences and he has to implement that. Citizens should not be harassed. Citizens should not be, it's our service to citizens we must provide. We are not doing any favor to citizens. They are favoring by taking our benefits. So when I was amazed to see this analytics model. And this is, well, I don't think the method is involved is too deep, but again, understanding the domain is important. If I didn't understand, so if I didn't put this question, that getting married doesn't mean that she is going to the husband's family. Everything is going to be wrong. So in analytics, in every phase, you have to understand the domain of what is happening there at the bottom. And if you don't do that, all this your theoretical learning, all this at these days, I'm more scared. So many tools. Just apply a tool and get some inference. Get something. And please don't ever try that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. Moving forward, it is pleasure to invite Mr. Anindo Bose, who is presently working as executive editor with Springer Nature. Mr. Bose is a part of global acquisition team and operates from the Springer Nature London office. He is responsible for acquisition of scientific content across the globe, especially in interdisciplinary applied science. I request Padma Shri Dr. Bimal Roy to kindly come on the stage and felicitate Mr. Bose. Thank you, sir.
It's an honor. Thank you.
একবার কবে এগুলো
আমি I was amazed to Good morning. See, after Vimala, I cannot talk about data analytics. So let me go to something else. So let's start the day. Morning. Good morning. Thank you. I am very sleepy. I have traveled whole night, so I don't know how much time I will be able to dedicate today to the conference. But I can tell you something about this conference, ICIDA. You know, when 4 years back, Toby came to me and she said, Dada, we want to do another conference. This another term is very dangerous actually. because you know how many conferences are happening in this area right now. Not data analytics, but computer science and applications. 36,000 plus conferences worldwide. So you can very well imagine when you are sitting over here, there are more than 100 conferences are there worldwide in similar areas. So a lot of data is already coming. So you know how much it is. Secondly, you know, when Abhishek said, and he is very proud of it, and he should be, and the team should be, that there are 1,000 plus papers submitted. But that is not an achievement, I can tell you. Why I am saying this? With LLM there, papers are getting generated every day. So I am sitting in the morning itself, before taking my first coffee, I can generate 4 papers. Straight away. So I can submit those papers to Abhishek. So 1,000 is not a big number for any conferences anymore, because conferences, but it is a big number indeed when you are talking about the 4th edition of a conference. That it just started and 4th edition and they are already getting 1,000 papers. That means there is a trust. You know, people are trusting the conference. People are looking at the conference. Okay, we want to send our paper to you. The challenge is basically to find those 160 papers out of those 1,000 papers. And that is a bigger challenge. You know, how to get those 160. Interestingly, authors are writing papers with LLM. Reviewers are also reviewing papers with LLM. So it's not only the authors to be blamed, one has to be blamed now. So, and interestingly, there is something which everybody is talking about it, nobody is thinking about it. It's basically research integrity. Integrity is basically, see, you have so much data and you are doing so much analytics. I was talking to Vimalda in the morning and we were talking about the inflation rate and GDP and all those. So he was telling me the same thing. See, the methodology or method doesn't matter. The only thing matters is the data, what exactly you are getting. Similarly, the paper also is the same thing. You know, what exactly you are getting and how you are dealing with it. Every day we are getting so many fake papers. I just cannot tell you. So integrity is something which is at stake right now as far as research is concerned. The problem is this, that we are not taught ethics and methodology correctly and we are jumping into writing paper itself. Nilanjan is here. Nilanjan can tell you that story that people are now celebrating that an institute is basically first year students of an institute publishing 80 papers in the first semester itself. So I don't know. He said bluntly in that particular event that how many of you know methodology well? This is happening every day. See why I am saying this, because I want you to get this alert that there is something which is happening and you don't have to be a part of it. My talk today will be completely on open access and I am not going to touch the ethical part over there, and that is why I want to tell you ethics is very important. And when you are coming to a conference, the most important part is how you collaborate with people. That is the whole idea basically. The collaboration is basically reducing because every day people are going for online conferences and they are not ready to come for offline conferences. This is something which is very bad for a conference. You know, I hate to present online. People tell me, Dada, you cannot come. So last year I was here for this conference. Shomi got me again, to Kolkata. So, but online is something where it is very, very difficult to collaborate, network. Because people just present their work. When this whole thing started after COVID, people said, okay, everything will be online. Initially, I was very happy in a way because each paper has 5 authors. So I was thinking this is a great opportunity. All 5 authors can come and actually attend, But never happened. Still only single author registers and they come for that. So my message is, when you go back to your institute, when you go back and talk to your peer, when you go back and talk to your students, please encourage them to come to physical conferences. If it is not a physical conference, it is not a conference, to be very honest with you. Digitally, we can basically, you can just present your work and all the way, we people, what do you think? People who are senior people sitting over here, they don't have any work. They are extremely busy in their own work and domain, Still they are coming here, just so that they can spend time with you and you can gain knowledge from them. Why there are keynotes, why there are tracks? Because you can come, you can actually see others presenting also, and you can also collaborate to that. That is what this conference is, right? You confer from it. But the problem is, we are not doing that. And eventually conferences are dying. Even though we are saying there are 1,000 papers, 160 papers are selected and these 160 papers will be presented, how many papers will be presented today offline? Hardly 10%. 90% papers are online presented. We don't know who are these online people. I will never get an opportunity to meet that person. They will never get an opportunity to listen to us, listen to you. So please go back and try to see if you can bring another person to the conference next time with you. So this is a very genuine request from publisher, from me as a person. And I see that, conferences can only grow when we will try to do that. It's a great honor always to come to a conference, stand in front and meet people like Vimalda, Paramarthada, they are very close to our heart and we love to talk to them, learn from them every day. We have just given 4 examples of data analytics standing over here in 10 minutes. Where will you get these examples? Nowhere. It's not documented. That is the most important part of a conference. Enjoy the conference. People, anyone from outside Kolkata? So let me enjoy Kolkata and you enjoy the conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your wonderful speech. We now invite Professor Paramatha Datta of Vishwabharati University. He is currently a professor in the Department of Computer and System Science in Vishwabharati University, Bolpur, Shantiniketan, West Bengal, India, since November 2007. He is a fellow of IETE, Optical Society of India, IEI, senior member of ACM, IEEE, CSI, IACE, and ITMA CCS. Indian Unit of Pattern Recognition and Artificial Intelligence. He is one of the editors in ICIDA 2025. Sir, we are welcoming you to address, and I request Dr. Abhishek Bhattacharya to come on stage and honor Professor Datta.
So good morning, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. So the unfortunate part is that I am supposed to speak something after Professor Bimal, who typically is my direct teacher. I had the opportunity to learn something from him in Indian Statistical Institute when I was a student there. And Anindo also is rightly pointed out, is definitely an occasion to assemble together. But what they are told after that, telling something is really a very challenging one. Let me confess that, and even then I avail this opportunity to take one or two sentences. So, ICIDA, the conference on data analytics, being the fourth in the series, and with such a success, it's a successful one. Statistics indicate that in terms of the number of submissions and number of acceptance, etc. So all these things indicate that it is time tested. It's time to accept it. So it's a nice one, and for me personally, it is even more encouraging that I am having the opportunity to get associated with it over the years. Now, Professor Bimal has given a few examples, very interesting examples. In fact, it reminds me of my college days in ISI. So these are very interesting things. The basic point is that what he has said, you cannot think of inferring anything without the specific context, understanding the underlying context in which your data is giving you the information or whatever it may be. So making any inference out of it makes no sense. Many times it is misleading. The examples reveal that. I want to speak out on one specific one aspect. that most of the mechanisms, models, study, analysis, all we have been accustomed in pertains to data, handling data at a static nature. So most of the things, for example, simple correlation. So x1, y1, x2, y2, xn, yn. So in such pairs. So basically, linear correlation or Bayesian correlation is going to give you the degree of association between these two. Obviously, domain specific, as he has pointed out. I am not going into that part. Otherwise, it is misleading. But even accepting that, it is going to give you the result how these two variables are interrelated with one another. Now, basically we assume that these n pairs, x1, x2, x1, x2, x1, y1, x2, y2, xn, yn, there are n data items in pair form. And we find out our correlation and any inference thereon, the basis of that data which is static in nature, n many data items. Now, if the question, or we try to make the association inference dealing with a situation where the data is stream data. So, data items are coming, arriving one after another, and at each and every time you have to equip yourself, so sort of adaptive type of situation where you have to have the idea of how the newly arriving data, they are remaining associated to one another and in which way. So basically it's an area which is dealing with online form of statistics or statistical data analysis and all that, which is really more challenging. Okay, so at least as far as my knowledge goes, there is serious doubt even today on these type of problems or problems dealing with stream or online data. Definitely when it comes to the question of analytics, data analytics, making inferencing, is a challenge that is there. Another point is that comes into my mind, another example, I will stop then, is a question of outlier. Okay, so, in fact, this is a common example that I provide in my class to my students. So, we know outlier, that means some data observation which is basically not exactly close to where data items are concentrating. So something that is outside that sort of cluster or concentration is identified as outlier. So once again, back to the problem. When we are dealing with data of static nature, fine. Identifying an outlier, so out of 100 many data items, well, the 87th one is something which is, some odd data or odd item out, so let us identify it as an outlier, fine. But think of a situation when it's an online, one second, stream data, so data items are coming, arriving one after another. And from this stream data, arriving data, I have to identify which one is an outlier. The entire scenario changes. So the first data item, 37, fine. Next data item, 35, fine. Third one is 38, fine. Next one is 160. You become suspicious. Well, this is a clear indication of being branded as an outlier. Next one, we allow. Next data arriving, 162. possibly outlier. 164, you are stuck up. You start fumbling. Incidentally, next one, 167. So the entire thing of your inference, the 37, 35, and 33 that you rendered as the data, and now these are my outliers, you have done wrong. So, and at that time, you never know what is going to come in next. So, who is your outlier? Who is your data? So, life is challenging. In fact, most of the real life problems that we face today, many of them, the data that we have to deal with, they are more than static in nature, mostly dynamic, stream and online. So the real challenge is there. This is just to give some idea, very basic idea, but interesting issues are there. And I derive encouragement. Professor I has given the attestation that these are real problems. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Professor, please get that. This thank you, sir, for enlightening us. We are now going to move forward with the felicitation session, and I would like to call Dr. Anupam Ghosh, Editorial Board Member of ICIDA 2025 from Netaji Subhash Engineering College. We extend our heartfelt appreciation for his involvement and guidance. I request Professor Paramartha Datta to kindly represent the memento and the felicitation to Dr. Anupam Ghosh.
बैटरी से
Thank you, sir. We are deeply honored to have you, sir. We now will recognize the relentless dedication of Dr. Surajit Gun, convener of ICIDA 2025 and academic director of eminent group of colleges, to be on stage. His leadership has been instrumental in bringing this conference to life. I request Mr. Anindo Bose to kindly felicitate and present memento to Dr. Gun for his contribution.
রাখবেন তো হ্যাঁ স্বপন করো মাইক্রোফোনটা দিন
Now, since Paramartha was talking about outlier, I thought I shared it's a joke, but it's not a serious one. It's not all that joke. Serious? Yeah. So, but people took it as a joke. That's why I'm telling the joke. Sometime back, 2013, that was the 150th birthday of Swami Vivekananda. So they were celebrating. And since I was the ISA director that time, I was invited in that program. There was the Ramakrishna Mission Secretary, then the Institute of Culture Secretary, many speakers. And I grew up in Navadvip Ramakrishna Mission, so I know Ramakrishna Mission right and left. So they were talking something about Swami Vivekananda, blah, blah, blah. All things I've heard 100 times in my school days. Nothing new. I was getting somewhat bored. And good that my turn came at the last. So I could say something which is not going to bother them. That is not going to affect their talk. So I don't know, I'm going to ask the students a few questions. Let them answer frankly. And I told the monks, please excuse me, better don't listen to. I dialogue with my school brothers. He said, okay, no, go ahead. Okay, I told the boys, you have come to this school, very elite school, very difficult to get in. Through some coaching, followed by admission test, followed by interview, and so on and so forth. Everybody said yes. That was a tough process to get into the Ramakrishna Mission at November School. I told, do you think Gadadhar, you know who is Gadadhar, could get inside the school as a student? Everybody stopped. I told the monks, please don't listen to. Let them react. And then everybody said, no. I told 100% correct. The other could not crack that admission test. Then my second question, could Noren crack it? They said yes. Noren is very smart. Swami Vivekananda is very smart. He could pass any test. So, outstanding smart. And then we had a term in our school called TC, transfer certificate. If you don't behave properly, you are thrown out. Like our ex-education minister, Part2. She was given a TC. so even TC, that was a horrifying term for us. I told them, how long will it take Noren to get the TC? Again silent. I told no, this is frank, monks are not minding. Then one guy said, Dada, 1 month. Then people said, and the maximum came to be 6 months. I told, absolutely right. Noren could not stay in such a disciplined environment. So now my question to the monks who are the authors of Ramakrishna Mission. So I have a question for you now. Swami Vivekananda creates an institute in respect of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Dev, where he cannot get in and he cannot stay. So what have you done? So if you think of that, I think that is the best way to show respect to Swami Vivekananda on his 150th birthday. And then the monks are visibly very, very angry, and during that tea time after the break, they didn't talk to me a single word. So I thought, maybe I should apologize that day, because they spoke so much of Vivekananda, I got so bored, otherwise I wouldn't have talked about all these things. But then, to my surprise, I get a phone call from Belur that Secretary Maharaj and some of the trustee members would like to talk to you. So I was maybe they would like to shout at me. What will you produce from Ramakrishna Mission? You are a product of ours. So I went there. And then I saw there is one Swami Attopiyananda, who is a nuclear physics PhD from IIT Madras, long back. There is Shish Maharaj, who is a IIT Kanpur PhD. Mahan, IIT Berkeley PhD. So all we learned monks were there. He said that we have taken your concern very seriously. You have discussed. Now we have an answer for you. See if it satisfies you. So Swami Attopiyananda tells me, who is a physics expert, that maybe we should get him one of these days to give a talk. He is an outstanding speaker, Swami Attopiyananda. He said, Bimal, you do science. I told, not quite science, mathematics and statistics. So what it may be. Your job is to model, even if physics, biology, chemistry, you try to model a phenomena, some data, you have to model it. That's what you do. That's what you try to do in analytics. Now, every model may have some outliers. I told, yes. Do you think of outliers when you set the model? I told, no. Ramakrishna, Paramahamsa, and Swami Vivekananda, they are the way outliers. You can never build an institution to accommodate them. So I said, okay, I'm very happy that we have thought about that. That is the biggest outlier. No matter how we put a model in analytics, you have got to get outliers. That is the lesson. I think that's the monks realized. And now what Paramahamsa is very real. This is all static data. It's a real problem to get outlier in a dynamic data. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing this memory with us. Now I would like to take privilege of inviting Mr. Shapon Kumar Karok, Managing Trustee of Nirmala Foundation, to deliver his welcome note speech. Sir, your guidance and support have always motivated us forward. I request Dr. Shaumi Datta and Dr. Nilanjan De to come to the memento, to present the memento and felicitate.
Good morning to all distinguished guests, respected speakers, delegates, and partners.
ব্রিফের পরে তারপরে তো আবার এদের ইয়ে রয়েছে
Promoter of the eminent College of Management and Technology, it is my honor to welcome you to ICIDA 2025. ICIDA has always been a platform where innovative minds in data analytics, AI, and intelligent computing come together. This year, we are privileged to host expert researchers and practitioners from across the world who are shaping the future of data-driven technologies. At Nirmala Foundation and ECMT, our vision has always been to create an ecosystem where education, research, and innovation move hand in hand. Conference like ICIDA strengthen the vision by encouraging collaboration, sharing fresh ideas, and inspiring young scholars to push boundaries. I extended my sincere thanks to the International Knowledge Researcher Foundation and all our partners for their support. To our speaker and participants, your presence in this conference, and we deeply appreciate your contribution. I encourage everyone to engage fully, explore new perspective, and build meaningful connection over those 2 days. With great pleasure, I declare ICIDA 2025 open. Thank you and welcome once again.
Thank you, sir. We now invite Professor Dr. Saurav Majumdar, Professor at Eminent College of Management and Technology, to deliver his welcome address and give a brief about our college. To the dais, sir. And I request Dr. Nilanjan De to come to the stage and present, and also Dr. Surajit Gun to present memento and felicitation to Professor Majumdar.
Respected dignitaries and esteemed delegates, good morning. Myself, Dr. Saurav Majumdar, Professor, Eminent College of Management and Technology, Kolkata, an institution that stands for academic excellence, innovation, and social responsibility. Eminent College of Management and Technology operates under the visionary leadership of our chairman, sir, Mr. Shomil Chakraborty, and the strong philanthropic support of Nirmala Foundation. The foundation's work in education, health, outreach, and community development forms the moral backbone of our college and guides our commitment to societal upliftment. Founded in 2015 and affiliated with the Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad University of Technology, Eminent College of Management and Technology occupies a spacious green campus on the outskirts of Kolkata, where purpose-built academic blocks, smart classrooms, and well-equipped laboratories create an environment that fosters both discipline and creativity. Our campus is designed to provide students with a calm, focused learning ecosystem. Our college currently offers a portfolio of undergraduate and postgraduate programs across management, information technology, paramedical and allied health disciplines including BBA, BCAP, optometry, BMLT and BBA in management, along with professional master's options. In response to evolving professional needs, we have recently expanded our postgraduate offerings in various disciplines. These additions reflect our commitment to deepen clinical, technical, and managerial training. Our laboratory and clinical facilities are designed to bridge theory and practice. Eminent College of Management and Technology maintains advanced computer and networking labs for IT courses, paramedical and clinical laboratories for optometry, medical laboratory training, and simulation spaces for hospital management instruction. These facilities support hands-on learning, supervised clinical practice, and student-led research projects, many of which address real-world problems in community health, optics, and healthcare operations. The college prospectus and infrastructure reports highlight investments in discipline-specific laboratories and a campus layout that encourages interdisciplinary collaborations. Students' engagement in Eminent College of Management and Technology extends well beyond the classrooms. We host a lively calendar of academic conferences, cultural and sporting events, and technical symposia. Recent highlights include college-wide sports, meets, and themed international seminars that bring scholars and practitioners together to discuss applied research and social welfare. Our students regularly present project work at regional conferences and participate in community service, vision camps, public health awareness drives, and outreach programs that apply classroom skills to improve local well-being. These initiatives embody our belief that professional education must also be socially responsible. Management students undertake consulting-style projects with local enterprises. BCA teams develop web and mobile applications for SMEs. Optometry and allied health cohorts run supervised eye screening camps and small-scale clinical study. BMLT students design laboratory improvement proposals and have been implemented in affiliated clinics. These experiential projects are guided by faculty members and external industry mentors, producing graduates who are workplace ready and research aware. Finally, Eminent College of Management and Technology actively cultivates industry partnerships, placement support, and continuous faculty development so our curriculum stay current and sector needs. We welcome collaborations with international universities and research centers for student exchanges, joint workshops, co-supervised projects, and we look forward to building bridges of shared research and teaching excellence with the global community attending this conference. Thank you, all the distinguished delegates and esteemed colleagues, for your attention and for granting me the opportunity to present Eminent College of Management and Technology at this prestigious forum. I extend my sincere appreciation to the organizers for hosting such an event of academic excellence and global relevance. On behalf of Eminent College of Management and Technology and Nirmala Foundation, I express my gratitude for this platform to engage, exchange ideas, and explore future collaborations. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next, we are honored to have Dr. Ambod Datto, governing body member of Amity University, Kolkata. Sir, we deeply appreciate your presence and support. I request Dr. Abhishek Bhattacharya and Dr. Niranjan De to kindly present the memento and to felicitate. Thank you, sir. Next, we are going to felicitate Dr. Shuchandra Sen, Principal of Eminent College of Pharmaceutical Technology, whose leadership continues to inspire academic excellence. I request Professor Dr. Tan Chi Pin and Dr. Surojit Gun to kindly come on stage and present the memento. Professor Tan Chi Pin, please stay back a little bit more. Thank you. And finally, we extend our warmest appreciation to Dr. Kaushik Biswas, Vice Principal of Eminent College of Pharmaceutical Technology. His contribution to education and institutional development is truly commendable. I request Professor Dr. Tan Chi Pin and Dr. Surojit Gun to kindly honor Dr. Biswas with the present memento. Proceeding.
Next proceedings.
আসেনি তো কেটে দিলাম
সপ্তর্ষি স্যারকেও ডাকবে সপ্তর্ষি ঘোষ
ইনি তো
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ প্রসিডিংস ওপেনিংয়ে দেখে নিন
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার Moving forward with the session, I would like to call for the proceeding. I will like to call on the stage Padma Shri Dr. Bimal Roy, Professor of Applied Statistics Unit, ISI, Kolkata. Professor Dr. Paramartha Datto, Dr. Anupam Ghosh. Come on stage, sir. Dr. Surojit Gun, Mr. Anindo Bosch, Dr. Saptarshi Ghosh, and Professor Dr. Tan Chi Pin and Dr. Abhishek Bhattacharya. Please come on stage.
and myself.
And Dr. Shomi Datto.
পদ্মশ্রী স্যার নীলাঞ্জন দে ডক্টর নীলাঞ্জন দে
I would like to call Dr. Nilanjan De, please, on the stage, sir.
Hard work of authors.
Professor, sir.
Okay.
Bimal.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Now we are going to have a very short tea break for 10 minutes, and I would like for you all to come back in this after 10 minutes.